Dungeon Damsels, everyone! Yay! We're gonna do a spotlight because I haven't done that in a really long time. But there's this awesome artist who does like Dungeons and Dragons art plus like cute forest animals.
Ooh.
Isn't that super cute? Look at this winged fawn. Look how freaking cute that is.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I bought like bunny art from her.
Look at this,
right?
halfling on a mastiff. Boom.
I think she had like a bunch of like there it is.
Yeah.
Rabbits that are D&D themed.
Yeah.
I bought one like for my
They're
friend.
so precious.
Yeah.
I love them. She's really nice. I've met her at conventions.
Yeah, we've met her multiple times.
Yeah, she's super sweet, and I've got some of her stuff. Her name's Kimberly, by the way. Oh, she lives in Utah. Anyway, so that's our little spotlight is Kimberly Art. You can find her on Etsy. She has a website called Kimberly Studio, spelled Kimberli Studio. And then I think this is episode 25, but I'm not great with numbers. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. Okay, so
We'll say it's episode. Point down toward the numbers. Point up toward the numbers.
episode this.
Numbers over there now.
Episode 20-something. Alright, so the last episode ended at the living quarters of the High Priestess. Tarina, you're feeling pretty good about the conversation you had with High Priestess Abhraigh. After speaking with Nessa, the High Priestess's granddaughter, and proposed spouse to your brother Erevan, you found out that education and lineage were very important to High Priestess Abhraigh. So, you took that information and then took on the visage of your sister and adopted a false accent, then arrived at the High Priestess's house and effectively shot down their proposal. You reported that your family lineage, like in terms of paperwork, was in shambles, and that his education was worse. All in the hands of your negligent father. So, High Priestess Abhraigh, although still very polite, couldn't get you out of there soon enough.
And then you hugged her.
Oh yeah, and then you had that nice, long, awkward hug, and she gave you that, like, hug. Ellie and Luna, I think this is what you're occupied with. You're preoccupied with the portal that Lana fell through, and there's the more immediate problem of Mara in jail and possibly dying.
Yeah, I think we have like a day or.
I think so, just like,
Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon. Like I gave you 2 days, so this is the first day, I think.
Yeah, I think we just used up a day.
So it's like late afternoon, so you have tonight and tomorrow technically, I think. Wait. Luna, you still have to write a letter of recommendation for Liam. And then Ellie, you still have to read the book on the Arcanic history. Kayanthi, you had an uncomfortable encounter with your brother Orator.
I was bleeding from my ears. It's very uncomfortable.
He's attempted to talk to you. He attempted to talk you into coming home, and when you didn't comply, he turned to violence. Then, with the help of Tarina, the two of you escaped his clutches, and the last thing you saw was him being carried off by the city guard. Ryurick and Nessa have said that they plan to approach High Priestess Abhraigh tomorrow to discuss his reinstatement into House Braydon and also their their engagement, potential. And then the Arcane Bois are back home and are pretty much normal apart from Narte being pretty shaken up over Lana going through the portal. And you guys are technically at the living quarters of High Priestess Abhraigh, but you guys can be at the Braydons or wherever you want to go. So where do you want to start this session?
Let's maybe go back to the Braydons so that Kayanthi can get a short rest and heal up a bit.
Sure.
Yeah. And then Luna wants to write that letter of introduction
Okay.
to Liam, and then go deliver it
Okay.
to Liam, and then talk to Colm at the same time.
Okay, so...
But she wants to work out what's gonna go if we have an idea to what to do with Mara, because that's probably what he's gonna want to talk about anyway.
Gotcha. Okay, so you guys go back to the Braydon house. Kayanthe, you march up the stairs and fall on your bed.
Collapse.
Collapse.
That's what I did yesterday coming home from work, so that's very relatable there.
I mean, if Lady Braydon is going to be seeing High Priestess Abhraigh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, we do have to see the High Priestess, right? I mean, how this town works is they need a majority of the matrons to approve Mara's case. Is that right?
Yeah, you basically have to gain the favor of two of them to, get anything to happen. So in this case, you'd want to, change the mind of at least one of them. So you can have two of them saying, held up on this execution thing happening.
Yeah, is I can't remember, is the lady that Liam works for and Colm's ready to, is she one of them?
Yeah, the Lore Matron. Yeah, you guys haven't really interacted a lot with her.
Actually, maybe I'll talk to her instead of Colm about escape.
Okay. So let's do, so you need to write your letter, so
yeah.
Let's have you do some type of roll for that. So,
how nice is your handwriting? Is that what we're figuring out?
It would be...
It's for my dad, but was it before that? Actually, no, he's going somewhere else.
Let's say, he did ask for a letter of introduction, specifically, for your dad, but,
Do a dad check.
a letter of introduction from a noble would be a good thing to have generally, so you could do a general introduction letter as well. So I'll have you just do I want to say this is a charisma roll because it's about wording and presenting
is it
them.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paper persuasion check.
Paper persuasion.
I'm gonna give myself guidance for it.
Go for it. $16? Okay, that's pretty good. Cool. Okay, so what else? Does anyone want to do anything else while we're here immediately, or do we want to just continue following Luna?
I wanted to do some research, but doesn't need to take front stage.
He only needs a nap. That's basically it, so.
Is...
Alright, we'll do Luna's stuff, and then
so
we'll
Luna's seeing Colm where...
Yeah, Luna's gonna go over to the Aoiche Clan, which is Lore.
Does anyone want to come with?
Sure, I'll come with.
Okay. So Ellie and Luna depart, and then you guys go to the Aoiche Clan house. You do notice that there's still a lot of guards around town, and they watch you say goodbye. And you come over to the Aoiche. Yes, the Aoiche house, and it's the place with the intercom. So for just brevity, we'll say that you interact with the intercom, and then stay who you are. And they're like, oh yeah, we know you, so they let you in. And so now you're in the Aoiche house, foyer basically. And their butler is just like, yes, ma'am, Madam Luna, and who is your friend?
This is Elendriel.
Yes, Miss Elendriel. And who might you be seeking audience with?
Okay, what would I say here? Would I be saying Liam? Or say that I have a delivery for Liam, and then that I'm seeking audience with the Lore Matron?
Okay, so,
Okay.
You'll hold out this letter and say, I'd like to give this to Liam, And the butler gets this kind of like sly look on his face, like, well, I will certainly deliver it to him. And the lady, yes, Miss, the Lore Matron, I believe she does have an opening right now. I shall tell her that she has guests awaiting her. And so he goes off, and he'd like escort you to like a parlor room, a waiting room, and then like we'll say that you wait like 10 minutes, and then he comes back and says, the Lore Matron is ready for you. You follow him.
Thank you.
You come to her office. She looks like Colm, and you can tell that like they're just like a beautiful family. You know how some families are just really attractive.
Yeah.
This is one of those families.
Can I get like a vibe on if she's like a nice or warm person versus like a not that?
Do an insight check on her.
Vibe check.
16?
Okay, well, let's see how she does against that. Okay, yeah, she seems pretty, like, normal in terms of, like, good or bad vibes. Like, she does smile at you when you actually show up, which you haven't seen a lot. And
Drow.
yeah, because Drow don't do that too much.
Yeah.
And she has, you know, this very elaborate hairdo with pins, and she says, hello, I am the Lore Matron, and who do I have the pleasure of this audience with?
Oh, I am Lady Luna from Virkus. I'm visiting for the time being.
Ah, yes, let's have her do I'd say she knew that. Ah, yes, Virkus. So, up north in the Kingdom of Leicester, I believe.
Yes.
What brings you here? We don't really get a lot of foreign nobles.
Well, actually, we were delivering some supplies from Gundrick from Mara.
The seamstress?
Yeah.
That's sort of unusual, but I'll take it. And so what can I do for you?
I actually was pretty concerned regarding Mara. See, in my time knowing her, she was always she's a good person, and also, honestly, I don't see any of this evidence that would suggest that she's guilty of what she's being accused of. So I'm concerned as to why she's so quickly being put on the execution block for it.
Oh, yes, dreadful business. I was opposed to it from the beginning. I was like, no evidence, lack thereof. She goes on for a bit and says, well, I'll give it to you straight. Kiva, the Lore Matron, likes to get excited over, stirring up trouble. She likes... And so she saw this as an opportunity to essentially flush out these spies that she seems to be so preoccupied with. And then she went over to the High Priestess and gave her this, terrible spook story. And came back to be quite convincing. So, while I am definitely on your side, my hands are tied. And the two of them have agreed that it's best if we set an example of Mara, and that's that. So unless you can convince one of them, then we'll have the majority shift again.
How would I be able to go about convincing one of them? Because all they're really making an example of is that innocent people will be killed if you can come up with any reason to not like somebody.
Yeah, did the War Matron state any evidence against Mara? Doesn't sound like it.
Well, she does have a story about her scouts actually finding Mara in the. She thinks she saw Mara in the caves with these strange men, but the evidence is lacking. Though it might seem. You might be able to go and talk reason into the High Priestess. She's sort of strict, but I think all this business with Nessa to be married is getting her all wound up. Well, I mean, this is more of a direct approach, but you can actually, this is a law that we have where you can gain a favor from the Lore Matron if you challenge her in battle and win. Though, frankly, you could... She leans over and says, you probably could goad her into fighting you as a group. She's quite prideful.
Okay. It's good to know.
Yes, she's, quick-tempered. Just have to know how to turn her in the right direction. Is there anything else I can do for you?
What's your personal relationship like with Mara? She's just trying to gauge if she knows about Colm and Mara.
Oh, well, I think that she's a nice sort of girl. And well, I don't think she has the right disposition for politics. Nothing to do with her as in where she was born, but it's more of her personality doesn't quite mesh with it. I know Colm's quite stricken with her, and I haven't really restricted him in that regard. I just have warned him that if he did choose to wed her, that society would not be kind to her. So rarely are they understood. So rarely are people jumping classes like this accepted. So.
Also, what is your relationship like with Liam?
Liam. Oh, she make another insight check. Okay, that's a savage insight check. Okay, so she, you see the slightest twitch in her finger as she has her hands resting on the desk, and then this other slight just blue blush, and she's Liam and I go back quite a while. He's been under my employment for about 20 or 30 years. I mean, time just flies. I spent wonderful for my estate and my taxes and paperwork and those sort of things. And she sort of prattles on about him. And with your insight check, you can gather that she does actually like him romantically, but for whatever reason is holding back.
I'd actually, I'd like to ask for a favor on his behalf.
Yes, of course.
So he, Blay and his son actually survived and made it to Toril.
She's taken aback and goes, You know about Blay and that whole incident? I suppose Liam must have told you, but why? How are you involved in this?
Because Blay is my mother's best friend and Gealach is my boyfriend.
She sort of like adjusts. She has like little round glasses, and it's like, oh, she doesn't quite know how to process this, and takes her a minute and says, well, I suppose that he'll want to meet his own child. Why? That would be quite heavy. And you intend to send him to Virkus, you're saying? I'm assuming that Gealach is there.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'd hate to see Liam go, but I do consider him, honestly, as more of a friend than anything. So I will, he will have his time to go and take about his business. How soon were you thinking?
I know our party was thinking of leaving within the next few days.
Were you intending to escort him?
We could if necessary, but if he were wanting to wait longer, then there could be a business trip on his own or with whoever you'd want to send with him as well.
Yes, well, I do. That would look a lot better on the surface level. Actually, this is true. What sort of trade do they have in Virkus? You could say, we're establishing some sort of trade line. I didn't want people to be raising eyebrows when I send off my slave accountant, on a long vacation.
That is fair.
Trade in Virkus. Make an intelligence check.
Oh, jeez. 20, 30.
Okay, so
Nice.
you say, Virkus has, they do a lot of fur trading, which, would actually be really potentially valuable to them, because they don't get fur.
Okay.
They live under a mountain.
We do a lot of fur trade as well as architectural.
True. Let's see. They would have there's a lot of druids there, so I think they'd also have an export.
And rangers.
They'd have an
rangers.
export. Druids and rangers. They'd have an export of herbal remedies and things like that. And she's just yes, fur. I do think I could roll with that one. It's first become a bit of a luxury here, so it's becoming sort of a status thing. We like to do such things like that. And then she, yes, I suppose that should do. Do you require anything else? This was very interesting news. I should say that I shall have to write a lot of. I shall have to go through a lot of paperwork to get this all sorted out, but I think it would be good.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that, thank you so much for your help. Especially after meeting Mars, I've just been very concerned about that whole situation.
Oh yes, Colm's been absolutely distraught, and I don't know, what can you do?
Yes, he's made that quite known.
Yes, he does. Boy, it's so tragic. Well, given the circumstances, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's the child that would cry over the spilled milk or the lost shoe, that sort of thing.
He kind of reminds me of my brother a little bit, in some ways.
That's very nice.
Yeah. she's not going to go into detail.
That is, well, unless you have other business, I do have quite a lot to get back to.
My business is concluded.
Yes.
Thank you again.
Yes, it's very nice to meet you, and nice to do business.
Yes.
Sure, we'll find a happy trade here. Okay. All right. You look satisfied, Luna?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Hi, this is Tiffany, your DM. Thank you for watching Dungeon Damsels. This is not the end of the session, so please stay tuned for the next part. We update on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're interested in supporting us more, please push the subscribe button, like, or comment. We also have a Patreon, wink wink nudge nudge, and our show is in podcast form. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Podbean, Spotify, and plenty of other podcast platforms. Thanks, we hope to hear from you soon.